going on, everybody? I'm Cheech with the On the Water podcast, and I got a special guest today, Mr. Matty Light, three-time Super Bowl champ, New England Pats legend, protected TB12's blind side for years and did it damn well. The reason that we're talking with Matt today is the third annual Northeast Bluefin Showdown. It is being held on June 26th to the 30th. It's a bluefin tuna tournament. They have partnered with the Light Foundation. The top prize wins $50,000. The main weigh-in location will be in Newburyport at the Commercial Pier, with additional weigh-in locations in Portland, Maine, and Marshfield, Massachusetts. So if the recent NOAA rulings hold, participants will be able to fish 3 consecutive days with a 3-bag limit per day. I'll throw a link in wherever this video ends up going and all the places so that you can check out the tournament. And the charity this year is the Light Foundation. The Light Foundation was founded by Matt Light and his wife, Susie, which benefits at-risk teens. And Mr. Light, if you would like to shed some light on your foundation and, joining forces with this tournament.
Yeah, look, I first off, I got to say right out the gate, I'm a Midwesterner, fairly landlocked. I mean, we do have Lake Erie in Ohio, and if you've ever been on Lake Erie, it's basically like being in the ocean, right?
Pretty epic smallie fishing too.
Unbelievable smallies. Walleye fishing is like
everything.
That's everybody lives for the walleye cheeks, and just Lake Erie has a world of its own, but I didn't grow up anywhere near Lake Erie. That was a 4.5-hour trip.
Okay.
And I grew up in a swamp infested, agricultural landscape. Coming to the Northeast and moving here at the age of 22-ish, I learned about saltwater. And one thing I know as a fact is that if you're a saltwater guy, if you grew up around here, you grew up on the ocean, you're batshite crazy, and you know how to have a good time. I mean, that's the two things I know to be a fact. And it's really amazing, man. I mean, I think maybe you could take it for granted, right? If you grew up in a setting like this, if you were able to hit, the beaches in Rhode Island versus, Newburyport or up in Maine. I mean, there's so much variation. There's so many things to learn. I'm a fish out of the water, but man, if I grown
special.
To love it.
It is special.
Yeah.
Dude, I grew up in a little peninsula, Hull, Massachusetts, which probably has the best high school field location on the planet. It is literally at the very end of town, surrounded by water. It was nuts playing on that field. You were picking, crab shells out of your skin from the seagulls dropping it on the field. But it was a badass place to play football. I'll say that much.
Were you guys like the Fighting Sharks?
We were the Pirates, man.
Crabs?
We were the Pirates.
Oh, of course you were.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was awesome.
So, look, the Light Foundation, in 2001, I got drafted, came out to a foreign land, as I've noted, and quickly realized that, look, what I was doing was special. Obviously, we had a hell of a first season in 2001 as a rookie. Yeah, and, I just remember thinking, all these people want access and all these people are excited and, I'm watching people do things in the nonprofit realm and raise money for certain causes, right? And I was like, I got to do something. Like, it has to be bigger than just playing the game of football, right? Like, that was really the start of it. The idea that I need to do something bigger with what I've been given. To whom much is given, much is required, right?
Awesome.
And that's a fact. And so I talked to my wife, Susie. I talked to my parents. I talked to my friends. We formed the Light Foundation. And over the last 22 years, our focus has been, how can we put young people in a better position to succeed, right? And it doesn't mean that they're not succeeding. It doesn't mean that in some cases, they don't have other resources. We just want to impact the lives of young people. We want to be a positive influence. We want to show them that it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you're headed. And so, man, we've been blessed, dude. We have events like this where a guy like Craig Cushman
Yep.
calls me up. He's with Ray Marine. They're the catalyst for this whole thing. And he says, "Hey, man, I've always loved what you do, and we want to help you do what you do through the Light Foundation. We want to be a part of that." And so, because of the generosity, because of the winning on the football field, because of all these things, I get to hang out with young people, impact their lives. They impact my life. My whole family is part of this. My mother-in-law, my mom, my dad, my wife, my kids, everybody works the camps. We're leaving in a week to go back and have about 8 straight weeks of working with kids in the outdoors.
That's awesome.
Doing leadership programming. And that's our focus, by the way. It's all, how can we develop stronger leaders who don't crumble when things get tough?
Yeah.
Who stay the course, who look you in the eye and treat you with respect. And these are the kind of people we need running our companies, our country, our communities.
Absolutely.
We need to install those things, and we get to be a part of that. And I love it, man. We're very fortunate.
That's really awesome stuff. I mean, to make a difference at that level, leadership is tough, and your upbringing through sports, obviously at the highest level. That's why I love sports, man. I mean, I got a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old, and it's like, get them involved in as many sports as possible, because it teaches you all the fundamental, it lays that foundation for success in this crazy world that we have to kind of navigate through. It teaches you how to deal with adversity and be a leader and accountability, all those awesome stuff. And I see my 6-year-old grasping it, and it's just like, yep, that's what's special about sports. And to parlay that into something that makes an impact in the community on a greater scale, kudos to you for that, man. That's pretty awesome. I
appreciate it.
Yeah, I love how you connected it right away to kind of your roots in the outdoors, and I kind of want to dig into that. So what was, like, you obviously have a passion for fishing and hunting. We'll kind of go back and forth between the two. What was fishing like local for you growing up? Like, what was that thing that made you say, man, I like this?
It was definitely family, number one. My earliest memories having a rod in my hand were with guys like my uncle and my dad. And my Uncle Bob was a larger than life figure in my world.
Yeah.
And he was a larger than life person. I mean, he was 6'4", 6'5". I think at one point he was pushing about 400 bills. He was a big presence. And my great-grandfather started writing the outdoor column. It was called Lights Outdoors in our local paper. And my grandfather was in the Outdoor Writers Association, which was a big deal back in the day. The article, that was written, the Lights Outdoors column, passed from, grandfather to my dad's oldest brother, my Uncle Bob. So when my Uncle Bob would take me fishing, I would then get to see an article that had my name in it. And it was like, oh my gosh, I'm in the paper, right? And so, I think for me, the thing that will always be fishing, because of where I grew up, is the little creeks, the farm ponds, those little bodies of water. Like, for me, it was the Greenville Creek, the Mud Creek. I grew up right where the Greenville Creek and the Mud Creek came together. It was where the signing of the Greenville Treaty took place in 1775, 76.
Yeah, I didn't know I was going to get a history lesson today too, man.
Well, yeah, I just try to bring the viewers into my world.
Sure.
And Tecumseh, all these great, tribal members were there, and biggest, Fort Greenville. But anyway, I remember fishing there and catching creek chubs and smallies and catfish. And, what's better than that? Crappie fishing in the spring was a religion where I'm from, right? So all the panfish, we didn't trout fish. We weren't, fly fishing per se.
Yeah.
But man, we could throw a Zebco like anybody could, and we had fun doing it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So how did you bring that? Like, obviously to make it to the show, you probably are all in on that for the most part, but then you come to New England and you brought that kind of love for the outdoors with you. Were you able to get much fishing in when you were, a Patriot?
Yeah, it's funny, man. Through a team doctor of ours, David Berger, who's a big time fisherman, he introduced me to a guy named Eric Staplefeld, and you may know Eric.
Hairball? Are you kidding me?
He's a legend.
He is
He's
a legend.
Truly a legend. I
He can
mean,
talk turkey too.
oh
We'll
man,
get there.
I've learned
We'll
a
get there.
lot.
Let's stay on this one. That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
So
he was literally like the first guy to take me out. Well, there was a guy named Tommy Hardiman. He took me out. He took me out for an overnight trip, my first time ever being in saltwater, and I thought I was going to die.
to the
So we go
canyons,
all the way.
like all the way out to the
Oh,
canyons.
we were in a regulator sucking diesel fume all the way to the canyons, doing like 4 knots for like days. And then we got we were trashed around. I mean, just, it was crazy. So, but then I started fishing with hairball. And I started going out with other guys. More recently, I've been hanging out down in Rhode Island with a guy named Frank Mazza. He's a phenomenal fisherman. I get to meet these people who they're really legends, right? And you know it. You get to meet these guys all the time, but they're so gifted at what they do. Like if you're a good fisherman, your attention to detail, your ability to be on point and make critical decisions,
Game
and
planning,
like planning, like all the things that you have to do to be the best. I mean, I think that's why there's so many successful people that love fishing. And it's not just to go hang out on the water. It's because they want to perfect the art of what they love, right? And then there's the mystery of what the hell is that's coming up on the end of this line. So,
and it's always changing, and you can never know it all, which is a real cool part about it. So we share a mutual friend in Teddy Bruschi, who I've been fortunate enough to fish a lot and show him some new experiences and stuff, and we've had a ball. He told me to ask you about Beaumont Pond, right near where you lived in Foxborough. What's special about Beaumont Pond? Sound like you spent some time on that body of water.
Yeah, man. We moved there just before the '04 season. It's kind of on the edge of Mansfield and Foxborough. It's a private pond. There is access for the Yahoos to sneak in on one little spot, but man, it's a great place. And I got to tell you, it was in my backyard. So we had about, 7-8 acres, and we loved it there, man. We had a great time in Foxborough, but Beaumont's Pond is where we would hang out. That's where we fish. That's where my kids learned how to fish. The bass. So my best day on Beaumont, I pulled in almost 6. We're going to call it 6. I mean, if I wouldn't have shooken all the water off it, it probably would have pushed 6. And I remember thinking to myself, this is the biggest bass in Massachusetts history. Clearly I was wrong.
Yeah.
But a lot of good time on Beaumont. And Brew used to fish it.
Yeah, he said that you guys would go out on a John boat, and you damn near sunk it one time. Thing was filling up with water, and you guys were like, "Oh, this isn't good."
Yeah, apparently you got to put the plugs in it. I don't know. There's detailed stuff like that I'm not good with.
I mean, it's easy to get distracted when you're focused on catching the biggest bass in Massachusetts. And then he ended up taking it back out and making the same critical mistake. And he said that he had to drain it and push it up against a tree to get the water out of it, and he damn near slipped a disc. So you might have been responsible for, him being out for some major games if that happened. Good thing for New England fans like myself, that wasn't the case. But he also said that he said to ask you about your dog Tech. He said there's an uncanny resemblance with Tech, and the dog is a real special dog, and we're all dog people here at On the Water. So tell us a little bit about Tech.
Yeah, man. Tech is a Deutsch Drahthaar, which is technically a German wire hair pointer.
Okay.
And he is definitely a human. When I had my long beard, he and I looked exactly the same. The best part about that dog is that he will do anything. I mean, I think he caught 4 coyotes during the winter.
That's
and they
awesome.
didn't stand a chance. He's annihilated half of my own chickens at my house, which is not intentional. And with, I've told this story more recently, but with Gronk got to witness Tech jump on the back of a buck and riding down a hill. So the dog is legendary. He can feed himself. He can take care of himself. He's as mischievous as I am.
That's
He
awesome.
gets in so much trouble, but we all love him, and there's no way you could ever be mad at him. His face says it all.
That's awesome. He also told me that he learned everything about turkey hunting, which I know you're a turkey nut. Literally the first time I met him, we were having lunch. I was just going in on the football stuff because definitely a sports geek. But somewhere along the line, turkey came up, and he was like, "Oh, I got a funny one." He's like, "So Matt Light invites me turkey hunting, and I was like, I'm gonna bring Dante with me because his kid loves to hunt and fish." And he's like, "We get out there." He's like, "Matt's literally talking turkey. He's got these birds on a string. They come right in. We got our bows." He's like, "Dude, we both drew back, lobbed an arrow, and the turkey just kind of shrugged it off with that like little armor that they seem to have on the side, which doesn't make any sense." And I'm like, he's like, "Dude, I couldn't believe it." So finally, he puts a 12 gauge or a shotgun in our hands and was like, "Come on, let's get this done." So next thing you know, you're crawling through the field with a turkey fan like tail, and you got his son who he just handed. He's like, "I don't even know if that was a smart parenting decision." I hand him a shotgun. I go with Matt, and next thing you know, you're crawling in front of him to pretending to be a turkey's ass, and the turkeys are coming towards you. And what happened? They get real close.
Oh man,
I heard
yeah,
you
like
pulled one of these. Now,
I always try to close the ear that has the barrel like right here. I've smelled a lot of powder at close range, and it's one of those things, man. It's such a joy, and I think we all get to this point as outdoorsmen where you have this need to figure it out. You're getting coached by somebody. You start to figure it out, and you start to want to do more and more and more, and then you do chase the dream, so to speak, where it's kind of about how big can I get, and then eventually you settle into, I just want to be out. I
yeah,
just want to be present. I want to soak it all in. I'm now a naturalist, right? And for me, the real joy comes in watching a friend, experience something new,
yeah,
and especially a friend with his son experiencing something new and watching a young person, develop this realization that there's this world out there that is captivating and that, you can learn so much from, and the camaraderie and all the things that true outdoorsmen cherish, you see in those moments, especially in the early season, in the early times. And that's what that hunt was, man. I mean, and I go full tilt, man. It's not like, let's not talk about it. Let's just go do it. And if we
yeah,
mess up, we'll do it again.
yeah.
Let's not worry about it.
Dude, turkey hunting's addicting. I mean, when I first moved to Plymouth from Hull, they were everywhere, and I'm like, I got to get into this. And then literally, I'm like, these are the dumbest animals on the planet. Like, I watched one fly up to a power line and do the whole for like what seemed like 2 minutes. I'm like, and then one ran into my truck because it saw its reflection. I'm like, oh, turkey season's opening up in like a week. I'm like, get all my stuff together, like ran a Bass Pro, grabbed like the bare minimum. I'm like, this is going to be like taking candy from a baby. And my buddy who I fish with, tuna fish with, did all that stuff, was like, I was like, "Hey, let's go turkey hunting." He wanted to go down the Cape. I'm like, "Dude, I got them all in my backyard. They're everywhere." And I go, "Listen," I opened my window to my bedroom. I hit the box call and the woods erupted. I'm like, "We're hunting in my backyard, dude. Come on." So I go out there and I set up in the middle of like an overgrown cranberry bog, have no clue what I'm doing, right? I hear one gobble behind the swamp. And I'm like, I'm just gonna like still hunt over there and shoot the thing in the face and have a fresh turkey dinner. So I go in that direction, no turkey to be found. I'm like, it was literally right here. What's going on? I come out of the woods. I take one step towards where I was set up. I got a Jake decoy out there. The thing looks at me, screams from like, 75 yards away and takes off in the woods. And I'm like, well, that thing just made me look stupid. Dude, I did like 3 times in a row, complete failure. So then I'm like, I got to get this dialed in. So I start doing all the research, right? Start like learning how to use the turkey call to get the, find out where the roost is, all that stuff. I go, great, we're going to set up. And now I kind of feel like I know what I'm doing. This was like the next season after these pea-sized brain birds made me look foolish, made me question my own smarts. And I'm like, I can't let this continue because these, they're really smart when you're hunting them. So we go out, set up. I couldn't get to where I wanted. I heard them gobbling. So I'm like, froze. I'm like, we'll do it right here. Long story short, I called in a hen. I put my hen call away and I'm just gobbling in, conjunction with the Tom's gobbles. And this absolute monster comes in. And the reason they were gobbling early, because I thought, why are they gobbling in the dark? Some coyotes came in first. So that's what had them kind of a little, sketched out and talkative in pitch black. And then finally I called this bird in and it was just so intense because like I saw a little movement, you see the little red head, and then you see this angry, pissed off Tom that was massive. That's literally like I can hear him breathing and he's like shaking. And it was just so intense. I let my buddy shoot him. It ended up being the 3rd heaviest turkey shot in Mass since they started keeping a record, I think back in 84 or 86 when the World Turkey Federation came in. And I'm like, holy crap. It went from failure to complete success. And then we tagged out like an hour later, about 100 yards away. And it was like, oh man, I've been addicted to it since. It really is.
It's a phenomenal sport. Probably one of the greatest ways to start a young person into the outdoors, right? So, I don't want to say it's easier, but you look at a deer and you can see where people are like, oh man, I don't want to shoot a deer. Look how cute it is.
I think a lot of it starts with bird hunting, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're kind of ugly. They're prehistoric. I think a turkey, though, is one of the most beautiful animals on earth. And the reason why, I mean, the snood, the wattle, the iridescent greens and bronze and all the colors in the feathers, the fly tying that you can do with them, the wing bone calls. I mean, we teach kids in our youth hunts. We have 2 different youth hunts for the Light Foundation.
It's awesome.
And I would encourage anybody, if you want to go online, mattlight72.com, check out the programs. And if you want to get involved, get involved. We love people getting involved, but we have a youth hunt in Rhode Island where kids from all around New England can apply. It's competitive. You have to fill out an essay. You have to get it in on time, right? There's accountability built into that. And you have to volunteer your time. But if you do those things, the reward is you get to spend a weekend at my cabin with a whole bunch of other kids from around the area.
Yeah.
And we go out and chase birds. And by the way, we've been basically 100% in one day. In one day, awesome. Every kid tags out. And so it's just, we have awesome people, awesome, guides and counselors but when you see what you can do with an animal like that, you can turn the wing bone into a call that will then give you the ability to hunt them further into the future, right? I mean, how cool is that?
That is real cool.
You can take the meat and feed your family a meal that would blow their mind. It's better than anything you could find, in the stores, right? Yeah. So it's just
people think they're gamey. Right? People like they have this, my wife, for instance, like, oh, I'm not eating that. They're gamey. It was the best turkey I've ever had in my life.
I've got sliced turkey in there. It's this simple: breast, cover it with meat church, any of his little things, or any kind of rub. Throw it on the Traeger at 130 for about 8 hours. Once it hits 160, take it off.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's simple.
Nothing else. I mean, I don't brine it. I don't do anything. I then put it on a Hobart slicer, slice it real thin, and I'm eating the best turkey sandwiches on planet Earth. Yeah. It's that simple.
Yeah. I love how interactive it is, and I love how like immersive it is. Like you'll be, full camo out there, and just the sounds of the woods in the morning when everything's waking up, and next thing you know, deer are feeding around you, and you're like, it never happens when I'm deer hunting, but it's so cool.
And you don't have to worry about scent control. I mean, as a large mammal who has a little bit of an odor, deer hunting, I got to prep myself. I can roll. The downside, obviously, is you're rolling out of bed about 3 a.m. I'm in the woods by about 4:15. So it's an early morning, but I can smell like a garbage can, and they don't care.
Yeah.
Everglades Boats is an industry leader in premium offshore fishing boats. Founded in 1997 by boating industry legend and former Boston Whaler executive Bob Doherty, Everglades revolutionized the boat building industry with the invention of the ram cap process for one-piece unsinkable hulls. Respected for its renowned hull ride, Everglades builds center console and hybrid boats from 25 to 45 feet that make a statement about the status and savvy of their owner. Everglades has received numerous industry awards and achieved an unparalleled reputation for superior safety, performance, and quality. For more information about Everglades Boats, stop by your local dealer or visit evergladesboats.com. Everglades Boats, built for beyond.
I saw that from the Jules podcast that just came out that you were literally hunting right behind Gillette. Like, give us a little rundown on how you ended up getting into that situation.
Yeah, well, I did. I asked Mr. Kraft, I said, hey, the land that you own behind the bubble where our practice facility is, right? Is it okay if I hunt that? And I kind of felt like he wasn't real clear on what he did own. And I'm like, well, you own this property. I was looking at the maps and looked at, because this is before Onyx, right? Mm-hmm. This is 2002. And he's like, basically do whatever you want. We never had this conversation. All right, green light. So I would always hunt it. And then I got better access through the generosity of the Lawton family. The Lawton family are like, they're royalty. I mean, they've been in Foxborough since Foxborough was formed, and they own this unbelievable dairy operation right behind the stadium. Raw milk, they sell it. They got these beautiful fields, and they've allowed me to hunt there. And here's the best part, right? I've taken so many teammates, from David Andrews to, guys like Ryan Wendell and Logan Mankins. All these guys have hunted there, and, they've been able to experience this. But a few years back, I was able to take a special operator, a guy that was, one of the most elite fighters in our nation's history. And his wife is a big turkey hunter. And I said, hey, look, when we go in here, we have the chance, an opportunity to not only harvest a bird, but after you kill this bird, we can get a picture and the whole stadium's going to be in the background. They're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, well, let's see if it happens. And lo and behold, she made a great shot. And we go and we take this picture, and it's literally Gillette Stadium, because the leaves haven't popped yet, you know? And so you got this whole picture of Gillette Stadium, and they're holding this bird. It was so great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So coming full circle back to fishing, do you still fish often? Like, is home still the New England region for you?
We are, yeah. We're in the transition of kind of moving our whole family down to Rhode Island. We bought a beautiful farm, and we feel really blessed to be down here. It's more kind of who we are, but still have a presence in Foxborough. Kind of working through the transition over the next year. And we do get out and fish quite a bit. Matter of fact, I get to fish with Dave Carrero. He cracks me up. He and Sandro and the guys. And, actually all the guys from Wicked Tuna, man, we've been fortunate to get to know them. They've supported the Light Foundation and our mission for years and years. And those guys are so daggone generous, man. I mean, they're amazing, right? You think about their success.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, that was once I discovered tuna, it was game over for me, man. That's all I could think about for, I don't know, like a good 10-year stretch. Nothing else mattered. What was your first experience tuna fishing like?
Horrible. Actually, my first 7 experiences were terrible. I'm not going to lie to you. Look, I'm not going to try to play tough. I don't have the gene. I think you have to kind of suck enough salt air in when you're young to develop it. But when I go out, I'm ruined for the next day. Yeah. Like, if we go out all day on the water, I'm an absolute mess the next day. And I don't throw up, but I definitely get many times where I'm like, oh, I feel like garbage. But, and this is the biggest but, the minute that line starts singing, everything goes away. Forget about all the noise. Forget about all the chaos. Game on, and it's as much fun. And so I remember I went out with some friends. We tuna fished, didn't hook up, never really got into them. Went out with Dave a few times, believe it or not. It's like the only time he doesn't have success was when I went. And then, I mean, last year, I think we put 4 giants on the boat. I mean, on a couple different trips. And
Yeah.
I mean, but we've had success since then, and going out with Frankie and all these different guys. And man, when you get to witness that, again, I love the teamwork. I love watching these guys do what they do, being a part of it, helping out. You know, when that gaff comes out and everybody's, what's
The end
real
game
tight.
is the most badass pot of tuna fishing.
Woo!
Yeah.
Woo! I mean, it's electric, man. So yeah, I mean, we've been able to have some success, and I'll tell you, man, I reeled in a yellowfin that was massive. I mean, massive.
Awesome.
And I put the boots to it, but it ruined me for a while. I was in the boat. I was in the boat.
Hands are all cramped up.
Yeah, what am I doing?
Yeah. Dude, tuna fishing is special. And that's another kind of situation when the tuna fishing itself is awesome, but what is going on around you is just like not geo stuff, man. You get the whales feed in, the dolphins come through, all the bird action. It's just like we take that for granted because we see so much of it. And then you have this just beautiful, massive fish that you get up close and personal with. And it's like, how does this thing exist? They really are the way they're built. Everything kind of fits into itself. They're so aerodynamic, and they're strong as they can get. Is all hell.
Oh yeah. And listen, I would say the other thing that has blown my mind in terms of like saltwater fishing is I was introduced to a guy many moons ago, and he supports our biggest charity event, which is our celebrity shootout. And this will be year 20 for our celebrity shootout. And for those of you that have been there, if you're watching, you could understand kind of what this event is. It's very unique, very different. It's every gun you could imagine. It's fly fishing in a stock pond right there at Addyville East Farm. It's like,
all right.
It's just a carnival for adults, right?
Yeah.
It's a crazy event. The best fireworks show you'll ever see in your life happens there at the end of the day. So we have a guy and a dear friend of mine, Eddie Lombardo, who's a legend in the fly fishing community. And if you ever get to spend time with him and you go out striper fishing with him in the channel or wherever,
yeah,
it's a religious experience, man. Yeah. So whether it's, I love striper fishing, black bass, all the fluking. I mean, fluking to me, I mean, if I can putting that in a skillet, maybe the greatest.
Fluke and sea bass is so good. I don't like stripers, but I love to catch them. Like I think I was spoiled because that's all we fish for: stripers, bluefish, and then bluefin. But now with the situation with striped bass, I just choose to release them. But I love catching them. We were down in Newport catching monsters yesterday, filming a show with our good friend Robbie Taylor from Newport Sport Fishing Charters, which you should look up. You guys would hit it off real well. But like everything, we have one of the most, if not the most, like variety in our fishery, whether it's saltwater, offshore. It's like nowhere else in the world. You can go out to the canyons, catch a marlin, catch all the tuna species, come in a little closer, do your fluking, do your sea bass, and catch a striped bass. Come in, it's like, and then you can get on land and go catch a 6 pound, 7 pound largemouth and whatever else.
No doubt.
Crazy.
And what about, I got to do this one time and it was such a cool experience. I was in Ninigrit Pond and we did the worm hatch.
Oh,
and that was insane.
Yeah.
I mean, you're watching these little worms spiral up and it's just the water's boiling and
stripers are usually really finicky too when they're on the worms.
Yeah. Yeah. It was so cool, man. We slayed them. But the other thing is, you can go 5 hours and you can go to like Pulaski, New York, and you can get into the steelhead. And we did that for many, many, many years. As a matter of fact, one of my favorite stories of all time came from that region, and it involved hairball, but I'll save that for a later date because it's one of the greatest stories to ever tell.
Steelhead fishing is like a religious experience in and of itself. That's a special fish as far as how, freshwater fish are built. What do you have left on like your fishing bucket list?
I was on the Time Bandit with the Hill Strands, and we were literally pulling up barn doors, those giant halibut on the Time Bandit. Like literally.
Now you're
like,
speaking my, dude. I'm obsessed with halibut right now.
well, I think it's one of the, I don't know, like, you get the king salmon, like when you're out there, right, there's a lot to choose
Sure.
from just a palatable, like if you want to pack some meat in the cooler, I mean, that's halibut alieska, like they prepare all these native dishes and it's
That's
just like,
awesome.
I mean, look, you can see where I'm going with almost, it always comes back to my stomach and
Yep.
eating. And I think that's honestly the sign of a true outdoorsman. It's anybody can hang something on a wall or brag or post. I think it's really how you share your passion with others, and that's the table, right? And that's setting the table.
It's so special. It really is. You see the experience, like you're living through them as you're opening their eyes to this just amazing experiential deal that ends at the dinner table. It's a really unique thing.
And I was so fortunate. We were gifted a trip by Smith and Wesson, and we sold it at the shootout last year. And back in February or late January, I was able to go to Costa Rica. And oh my goodness, man, you talk about we were at the Zancudo Lodge. We caught just a ridiculous number of sailfish and these snapper.
The Cubera snapper, the ones with the teeth.
Cubera, man. Like, matter of fact, good buddy of mine, Mark cast this plug, and he'd been working this plug to his credit all day to no avail, and getting scorched as I'm hiding under the canopy. And he's reeling it in, and I'm up there and I play because we were catching a lot of rooster fish, right?
Oh, those are cool.
So I wanted to inspire him. So I was able to hook up to the speakers and I play, a little Alice in Chains rooster. And right when it crescendos, and I was like, hey man, I'm gonna give you a little love, Mark. You got this. And I'm like, here come the rooster. Oh yeah. And right when I'm like, oh, the damn popper is like literally 3 feet off the bow. And this Cubera, I don't know how much it weighed, but it was it had to be like 60, 80 pounds. It was the biggest. I've never seen anything like it. And it blew up and he landed it. It was epic.
Dude, the visuals that get ingrained forever in your memory from, crazy stuff that you see in the outdoors, whether it's fishing or hunting, it's stuff that you just carry with you forever. And you can just always replay it where it's like, man, that was nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Family owned and operated for over 65 years, AFCO represents unparalleled quality, performance, and reliability when it counts most. From inventing the roller guide to introducing the world's first pair of true fishing shorts, which are some of the most comfortable shorts you'll ever own, by the way. AFCO not only delivers products proven to perform on the water, but are true leaders of conservation as well. Their pledge to protect and conserve has 10% of your AFCO purchases going directly to supporting conservation initiatives. Beyond their fishing shorts, a couple of my personal favorites are the Barricade Elite bibs and jacket, as well as their line of Reaper sweatshirts, pullovers, and jackets. Check them out at afco.com. AFCO, any fish, any water.
You belt out the rooster, and this massive Cubera comes up and just smashes the plug. They're cool species too.
It was great. Yeah. I mean, so that was a big bucket list thing for me to be able to, just see that part of the world a little bit, through the eyes of those guys and what they do. I mean, what top-notch place, we had a great group of guys down there. And again, I think that, it always comes back to, the camaraderie, the people that you're doing this with, the food. I mean, the food was incredible, but yeah, the experience being on the water out there. And I mean, we see whales, it was crazy. You have these big rock formations. You got these giant national parks that are like untouched, on the coastline. You got parrots, and by the way, parrots are giant and very colorful, right? It's like, we're not in Kansas anymore. And it was just a cool experience. So there's a lot of other things I want to do in terms of fishing. I think, New Zealand's a bucket list for me.
Dude, that's a weird place, man. There's stuff that doesn't seem like they're from this world there, but they're all happy creatures. Like Australia or like Africa, everything's trying to kill you. Over in New Zealand, they're all pretty harmless.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you can do this You can take care of the Cape buffalo or the water buffalo. Well, I've seen it on TV anyway. I think Mick did it. Yeah, outside of that, you got nothing to worry about, right?
Yeah,
Australia,
exactly.
actually, Australia, everything kills you. That's right.
Yeah.
New Zealand, they don't even have those. So yeah, you're good. You can run around naked. You know, they don't even have thorns, I don't think. So, what's the worst that could happen?
That's too funny. How about like Rhode Island fishing going forward? What are you most looking forward to once you get settled?
Yeah, I think one, I get to establish my pond. I've got a nice little pond here. It's fed by a brook. So we're gonna do a little, pond restoration, a little management there.
What are you gonna put in it for fish?
You know, the basics. I was able to successfully introduce smallies in a pond that I built in Ohio,
Very
and
cool.
they're actually spawning, which is really, really cool.
That's awesome.
So, I don't know that we'll have success doing that here, but definitely put some smallies. It'll be crappie.
Yeah.
It'll be largemouth. It'll be smallies. And it's probably some hybrid gills and, the basics,
Yeah.
right? Nothing crazy.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I mean, I've kind of come full circle. I do a lot of largemouth fishing, but I love smallmouth, man. They got a different demeanor to them than largemouth, and it's something different. I grew up catching largemouth. It's like, all right, I've done that. Like smallies are it for me. Like I was I took Teddy smallie fishing with we were fishing little finesse swim baits, and watching him get that dialed in was really cool. And it's just, again, it comes back to those experiences. And I've just had I've been full on smallies, but I also love doing a lot of nighttime largemouth fishing, throwing big swim baits. Have you done that yet?
Man, I got into the swim baits a while ago. And to be quite honest with you, man, because of turkey hunting and then our camps, typically if I'm fishing, I'm helping out a youngster or my own kids.
Yeah.
But I remember when the swim out in California, Southern California, Mexico, and I was like, that's the dumbest thing in the world. And then we started doing it, and it was crazy what you would get,
Dude, it's something about, like, again, you're immersed in a around the body water. I wade a lot. Sometimes I'll fish from the John boat and stuff, or the kayak, but like pitch black, you got a surface bait coming back to you that's like this long, and all of a sudden the explosion makes you jump right out of your skin. It startles you, and you're fishing a different class of fish at night in the dark, and it's like you always feel like that next bite is going to be that like 9 or 10 pounder. So it's a high intensity, like it's nothing going on, and then all of a sudden chaos breaks out.
No
It's
doubt.
a fun deal. So circling back to the past real quick, tell me a little bit about the stretch line.
The stretch line.
Yeah.
First of all, as it relates to camp, stretch line is kind of like being on the firing line. Like you just want them to put a bullet in your head and just get it over with, because what comes after stretch is not fun.
No.
It's called practice, and practice sucks.
It does.
And especially during training camp, it's horrible. Stretch line is also a place where I like to talk a lot of trash. I like to have a lot of fun. I like to call some guys out, and Bill would typically be walking around twirling his whistle and just, doing Bill stuff, asking guys, are we, we got it all ready to go today. And guys are like, oh yeah, coach. Yeah, we're ready. We got it. I was always like, don't come ask me that, Bill. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't want to be here. This sucks. We need a day off, and you're a tyrant. That's the stretch line for me.
Stretch line is one of those places where the coaches kind of give you a longer leash. If you try to mess around like that at practice, there's problems. But stretch line is kind of like, let your hair down, bust balls, and get after it. You guys collectively gave us the greatest run in, NFL history. It was like, I miss it already. So thank you for that.
Buzzards Bay Yacht Sales knows that a great boat dealer is as important as a great boat. Why? because new or used, you're buying a boat with 100 different systems and components that need tuning, training, troubleshooting, and sometimes repair. While most boat dealers are your best friend only until the sale is closed, Buzzards Bay Yacht Sales has developed a bulletproof reputation for building long-term relationships with their customers. Before, during, and most importantly, after the sale. Go ahead, ask around. We challenge you to find anyone who has anything but great things to say about Tom O'Toole and his team. With 6 locations from Freeport, Maine to Jupiter, Florida, including Marblehead, Massachusetts, and 3 offices on Cape Cod, Buzzards Bay Yacht Sales is committed to providing the best possible product, customer service, and support for both recreational boaters and passionate sport fishermen. It's true, who you buy from is as important as what you buy. Visit buzzardsbayyacht.com today.
The circling back to the charity, what do you guys have any events on the fishing side of things that you want to share with people?
Yeah, man, listen, and especially for your audience, right? This is a big one. So I alluded to it earlier. We have the Northeast Bluefin Showdown.
Mm-hmm. That's
going to take place 26th is kind of like the captain's meeting. You're going to be fishing 3 days, 27, 28, 29. There's going to be an incredible, awards night on the 30th in the afternoon in Newburyport. I think it's at the Elks.
Yeah.
They've just renovated the hall. It's going to be a great, great night. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there, but we want to get as many boats into this thing as possible. And for me, a little selfishly, it's going to benefit the Light Foundation.
Yeah, sure.
And it's going to do a lot of, it's going to do great things for what we do through the generosity of all these people participating. But for the people participating, there's a $50,000 prize on the line, which is great.
Yeah.
And a lot of incredible items in the auction and everything else. And 3 days of fishing. And I think you alluded to this, it's probably going to be a 3 fish per day kind of thing, right?
Yeah. As long as Noah doesn't change things. The changes come in after the tournament on July 1st. So that's exactly what it looks like it's going to be. And you can monitor the situation. If you're signed up for the tournament, you can go to the website. We'll put the link in, everywhere that this video goes so that you can keep up to date on it. But it sounds like it's going to be an absolute blast. And the online auction, is that open to everybody?
It is actually, yeah. So, click on the link, Northeast Bluefin Showdown. You guys can bid, as much as you want from online, but we're hoping to get as many boats entered as possible. We're going to have a lot of fun. 3 different places that you can weigh in, so it's very convenient. Whether you're going to hit Maine or Newburyport, where kind of everything's based out of.
Yep.
I mean, we got easy.
There's another location in Marshfield.
Yeah, Marshfield is another location. So, look, it's amazing to see. Okay, look, we all love to fish. But when you fish and then you're also impacting, an organization like ours, it just makes that day even better, in my opinion. And so I just want to say thanks. If you signed up already, awesome. If you haven't, you're thinking about it, check it out. If you have signed up, you got buddies that have boats, man, get them involved. Yeah. I'm going to be putting pressure on guys like Scott Butcher, on the Cape. He's a great guy. He's got a great location there. I'm going to try to, guilt a lot of people into it, but
you're cashing in favors, man. You've done a lot for the community, and to call it selfish when it's really for charity and it's for the betterment of our community's youth. Kudos for you starting this whole thing, running it for 22 years, and then tying it into the fishing community, which I got to say, one thing that's awesome about the fishing community is there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of crybabies and finger pointing and, jealousy and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, when somebody needs help, when there's something to rally around, the fishing community really shows up. And that's why it's such a special deal to be part of it and see the community come together and support things like the Light Foundation. And, just to kind of close here, give me a little rundown of a successful event here allows you to do what going forward? Is there any kind of, goal-oriented stuff that it's man, if we get this done, I can go this much further in this direction? What does that look like?
Yeah, well, listen, something that's very tangible to everything we've talked about. We're going to be able to bring our Hooked on Fishing program here to New England. It's been a very successful program in Ohio. These kids get to fish our pond. They get to fish other bodies of water in and around the area where our camp is located. It's an amazing program that teaches kids, the sport that we love, but also life lessons. And again, everything comes back to leadership. And it pushes them outside their comfort zone while also having a ton of fun. So we're going to be able to expand that program. We're going to be able to expand our leadership conference. We have an incredible leadership conference at Bridgewater State University maybe 3 weeks ago now. It wasn't that long ago. In May, we held our leadership conference at Bridgewater State, and we had 7 different schools from right here in Massachusetts. It was an incredible day. And it's also going to afford us to do things like expand our timber framing camp, and we're getting ready to build Timbertown Training Village, which will be a trade school, but really a focus on leadership. So a lot of great things happening within the Light Foundation. We serve over 7,500 kids annually. Again, check out the website, see what we do, and just know this. When you get involved with the Light Foundation, we don't just throw a big party, right? Everything we do is purpose-driven. So if you've been to the Celebrity Shootout and you've seen the scale of it, and we'll raise probably $1.3 million shooting guns in the Northeast, which they said couldn't be done because nobody's going to support it. But yet they have for 20 years now, and it's going to cost us less than $150,000 to do that.
That's phenomenal.
And that's important, right? Because as you know, what you don't want to do is support something just to have a good time. It has to make an impact. And we don't get any funding really from the federal or state level. We have to earn it. And so my team knows that every dime that we bring in, we better be very, very responsible, and we better utilize it to the nth degree. And I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of my team, and I appreciate, everything that you're doing, helping spread the word.
Yeah,
and again,
absolutely.
for everybody coming.
It's my pleasure, man. This has been a blast. Hopefully maybe we get to bend a rod together sometime. You mentioned your kids a couple times. How old are they? And what's fishing like them been like for you?
It's the best, man. So I've got 4 kids. My oldest just graduated from Purdue, which means I'm really old. And she's back at home here with us. And I've got 3 other kids, 2 boys that are in the middle. One is a freshman in college, getting ready to go into his sophomore year. The other one's going to finish up as a senior next year at Foxborough. And then my youngest, my little sidekick, she's 11. So, man, they all love fishing. They all love the outdoors. And we're blessed as a family, man, to do this.
Do you feel yourself like morphing into Uncle Bob when you're fishing with them and saying the same ridiculous stuff that he used to say? Because I'm doing that right now, and I'm like, oh my God, I've turned into my father.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm saving my powder for the grandkids. I just can't wait to corrupt, my kids' kids. It's going to be so much fun.
Dude, if my dad was alive today, he'd be laughing, constantly at the trouble my youngest son's putting me through, because he's literally a carbon copy of me and doing exactly what I did to him, to me. It's been awesome. Hopefully sometime we can bend a rod together. Feel free to reach out. Happy to support any Light Foundation ongoings in the future. Again, thank you from the entire community for what you're doing and continue to do. And also thanks for that amazing run that you blessed all of us Patriots fans with. So if it's bending a rod together, reach out, dude. We can get out and get something fun done. Maybe we'll get Brew out there too and have a good time fishing and sharing some stories. Or if it's even, having a pitcher at Rentes, which you brought up, which I'm like, oh my God, I haven't thought of Rentes. I actually went to Bryant. That's where I went to school.
Wow.
Which was, the Patriots camp.
Yeah.
And when I heard that come up on that Edelman podcast, I'm like, oh man, they just brought up Rentes. That's hilarious.
Rentes.
Yeah, man. Hey,
it was a legendary.
Thank you again for joining us. And, we'll get together after this. I'll work through, your team and whatever, and get all the assets, all the materials, the links, get everything dialed in. We'll get this out there on all of our platforms that it works on, and we'll really kind of ramp up the promotion for you. So again, appreciate you, buddy.
Man, thank you. And, listen, anything I can do in the future, man, just let me know. And We'll have some fun in Newburyport here on the 30th. That's for sure.
That sounds awesome, dude. Well, you take care and stay at it, buddy. You're doing a great job.
Awesome, boss. You too, man.
All right.
Keep Brew out of trouble.
Yeah, I try, man, but he's mischievous. He's already trying to get me to sneak into places that I know we can't fish, but I know there's some monster smallies in them. But
I would never put you in that position. Never.
Well, hey, let's hang out sometime and go pull on some fish, dude.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you.
Be good, man. Take care. I'll see ya.